Hey, Brent Ehrler here with Tackle Warehouse. Just got done with a Bass Elite event here at Lake Okeechobee, the second stop of the 2017 season. Really fun tournament. Fish are always shallow here. They're in the grass. They're spawning a little bit. There's some post-spawn. There's some pre-spawn. I kind of really threw a lot of moving baits. I was really searching for those fish that were doing everything. They're spawning, post-spawn, pre-spawn, fishing grass, fishing in about 3 feet of water. A mix of eelgrass and hydrilla. I also sight fished a little bit. For me, anytime around the spawn, I'm using bluegill imitations. For here, I used 3 moving baits and 2 slower baits. The moving baits that I used, I would say a bulk of the damage was with a swim jig. This right here is a BOSS Swim Jig. It's a 3/8 ounce swim jig. I was using a Yamamoto hardtail swim bait for the trailer. I cut it down so it's a little bit shorter. The neat thing about the hardtail is that instead of just having a steady sidekick to it, it also has a shimmy, so it has 2 different actions to it. So a really good trailer for a swim jig. I paired that with a 20-pound sunline shooter and then a brand new rod. This is actually the whole series here is the Chatterbait Elite series, brand new from Daiwa. It's going to be available right at the Bassmaster Classic. This is the Ish Monroe frog rod. It's a 7.4 heavy action rod. I put the brand new Chatterbait SV reel on there. This is just coming out as well right now too. It's a 6.3 gear ratio reel. So the nice thing about the SV spool is that it's a shallower spool. I can get farther casts with smaller baits, but it's very versatile, so I can use a heavier bait like this and cast it just fine. So caught most of my fish on this week, and then also some on the chatterbait. This is the brand new jackhammer by Chatterbait. It's going to be available around the Classic as well. Threw that in a 3/8 ounce with the Yamamoto Zako trailer. Now this rod is one that I helped design. This is my signature rod. It's a Chatterbait Elite. This is my cranking and bladed jig rod. It's a glass rod. It's a 7.4 medium heavy action, which is phenomenal for a bladed jig. Now I use 20-pound Sunline Sniper for this, and then I put this on just a standard Type R Daiwa Tatula 6.3 gear ratio CT. It's a little bit smaller one. That right there is a perfect setup for cranking and throwing a bladed jig. That glass rod, medium heavy, really helps land those fish when you hook them on the bladed jig. So now the other bait that I was winding with, this is the Lucky Craft Classical Leader SSR. Now that bait right there is that color is the BE gill. That's the color that I helped design, and that's why it's BE for Brent Ehrler. Now, one thing I did change on this is I put some Yamamoto EWG trebles on there, especially when you're fishing in grass. You really want to trap those fish. So, again, put that on my Chatterbait Elite Signature Series rod. It's a 7.4 cranking rod, medium heavy. Such a versatile rod for cranking. Worked out perfect in the grass this week. And then again, Chatterbait Type R, CT, and a 6.3 gear ratio reel. And this time I threw Sunline FC Sniper 16-pound. Just for keeping that shallow grass. And this bait runs about 1.5 to 2 feet deep. Just kept it kind of clicking on the top of the grass. Now, when I slowed down, I used another one of my signature series rods. This is a 7.3 medium heavy action rod. This is a multi-purpose rod. This is one that I use for a lot of things. You can use it for a light bait. This is a Yamamoto D-Shad. Now, this is real similar to a Senko. It falls a little bit different. So this is a real popular technique in Florida. You fish it like a Senko. You dead stick it. You don't twitch it. It's kind of a twitch bait, but you don't twitch it. You actually cast out and dead stick it like a Senko. So I used a Yamamoto EWG 3/0 hook for that. And I used 16-pound Sunline FC Sniper. And then I put this on the brand new Chatterbait SV reel. Now this one I went with an 8.1 gear ratio reel because it's kind of it's a bait that I want to take up a lot of line when that fish bites. So the 7.3 medium heavy is a great all-around rod for throwing something like this. You can throw a spinnerbait on it. You can throw a topwater on it. There's so many things you can do with it. So this one is my multi-purpose rod. Again, 7.3 medium heavy. And last but not least, this is a Texas rig that I use for sight fishing. This is actually the Yamamoto Zako. I put on a 1/4 ounce range tungsten sinker, little bobber stop, and then I used a little bit of a chartreuse dye on the tail because I was sight fishing with it. But this I put on 20-pound FC Sniper by Sunline, and then again went with the brand new Tatula SB reel and an 8-point rolling gear ratio, and I used a Ish Monroe frog rod for this, which is just perfect for pitching to shallow beds like that. It's a heavy action. You don't need a big 7.5 foot flip stick, just a 7.4. Ended up catching a real big one. The biggest one I caught in the tournament. I caught sight fishing with that setup. So that was kind of the rundown for the week. Again, the fish were around the spawn, and really a fun event. Caught a lot of fish, a lot of small fish, but really had fun. They were biting. Every day you could catch probably 30, 40 keepers, it seemed like. So really good time, and had a blast. So ended up in 29th place, got a good check, some great points. Hopefully qualify for the Bassmaster Classic 2018.
It's a very lightweight, very crisp rod. This is in hand, it feels so comfortable, the balance of it.
So it's a tungsten sinker, that's a 3/4 ounce, and I put a skirt on the sinker itself.
The BMS, the bite marker system, is going to allow you to detect and see those bites better